All right, guys, we are in the midst of some crazy PR games right now coming from Blake Lively's side. So I became aware a couple of weeks ago that somebody in Blake Lively's camp was shopping around what they claimed to be HR complaints to various tabloids and publications, namely TMZ, Daily Mail, and the New York Post, sending them these HR complaints saying these were real and these were ignored, all painting Justin Baldoni to be a monster, okay?
Is Hollywood hiding a carefully orchestrated scandal right before our eyes? That's the question swirling around a cache of mysterious HR complaints against actor-director Justin Baldoni, allegedly leaked by none other than Blake Lively's camp. By the sound of it, we're dealing with jaw-dropping accusations. But the truth is entangled in layers of redactions, strategic leaks, and frantic PR maneuvers. Could Blake Lively and Reynolds really be behind a clandestine campaign to tilt public opinion? Or are these documents simply evidence of a bigger story no one wants to confront? The entire situation reads like a high-stakes thriller. Suspicious documents no major newspaper will touch, an A-list couple rumored to be pulling strings, and an actor whose public image is suddenly under fire. Let's pull back the curtain and examine the curious web of allegations, rejections, and possible manipulations that have everyone guessing what's real and what might be a diversion. A few weeks ago, Hollywood was rocked by whispers of scandalous HR complaints against Justin Baldoni. So severe, they supposedly proved monstrous misconduct on set. The bombs were apparently dropped into the inboxes of high-profile tabloids like TMZ, Daily Mail, and the New York Post. Normally, a hint of wrongdoing involving known celebrities is all it takes for these outlets to publish something sensational. But all three turned it down.
So what does this tell us? Well, first and foremost, that they still believe the public is stupid, that moms on the internet are stupid, that we don't understand these legal games and these PR games.
Why reject such an attention-grabbing story? Insiders claim it was the excessive redactions. Dates, names, and key information were blacked out, making it impossible to confirm even the most basic facts. When journalists followed up, the person providing the documents reportedly offered evasive answers, yet wanted these mainstream giants to run the story without further verification. For major tabloids, that's an invitation to a defamation lawsuit they'd rather avoid. If these complaints are authentic, why crop out the details that would give them credibility? The tabloids, usually anything but shy, decided the documents were too dubious to run. So that should have been the end of it, until the story resurfaced on an entirely different stage. When the big guns said no, the leaks suddenly appeared in smaller spaces: TikTok, independent blogs, and so-called citizen journalism feeds. This shift feels calculated, especially if the ultimate goal is to demolish someone's reputation. Smaller outlets can be more impulsive, they're hungry for the next big scoop, and often lack in-house legal counsel or editors specialized in fact-checking. If you're trying to push unverified documents into the public eye, these platforms are prime targets. Speculation runs rampant that the same party who approached TMZ and others decided, if the big players won't spread it, the independents will. Independent creators love exclusives. A major Hollywood leak could skyrocket their visibility. But was it fair to dangle these incomplete documents at people who might not have the resources to investigate properly? Skeptics wonder if this was a classic PR gamble. Use smaller voices as unknowing pawns to circulate unconfirmed rumors.
So what does this tell us? Well, first and foremost, that they still believe the public is stupid, that moms on the internet are stupid, that we don't understand these legal games and these PR games, and we keep proving that to be wrong time and time again. But let's just keep going with this strategy, Blake's PR team.
After all, once a scandal is out there, true or not, it's tough to put the genie back in the bottle. Even if these creators eventually remove their posts or correct the story, the initial shockwave can linger, leaving Justin Baldoni under a cloud of suspicion. So, what do these complaints actually say? They depict Justin Baldoni as crossing every imaginable boundary on set, making explicit comments, physically cornering someone who asked for a break, and ignoring protests about personal space. On paper, it's appalling. The documents read like a script designed to provoke outrage, which is why tabloids would typically love to run it. But everything crucial is blacked out: the complainant's names, the precise dates, the context. Without those details, it's impossible to discern if these are real claims, repeated claims by one individual, or an outright fabrication. Could this be one big smokescreen for some bigger power play behind the scenes? These questions multiply because the timeline is suspiciously murky. We see allegations that appear to be from the same time frame, yet it's unclear how many separate individuals are supposedly involved, or if it's all from a single source. Meanwhile, the reaction from the tabloids, who, let's face it, are not known for their caution, only underscores that something about these papers is off. Typically, sensational stories are a tabloid's bread and butter. For them to suddenly get cold feet, these documents must have raised serious red flags.
Now, if you're a PR agent and you are desperately trying to get out these complaints for your clients, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, to help change the environment of everybody who's calling them out on their BS, what do you do next? You can't get any of the big guys to publish it.
One major point of confusion centers on which production entities supposedly received these complaints. The documents name Sony as the company that allegedly ignored them. But the lawsuit that's in play right now points fingers at Wayfarer Studios, along with Baldoni, Jamie Heath, and other connected parties. Yet Sony is conspicuously absent. Why would the complainants exclude Sony from litigation if that's who they initially blamed for neglecting the issues? Legal experts note that if Sony were truly at fault for sweeping real complaints under the rug, it would be logical and potentially profitable to name them in a lawsuit. Suing a big studio is no small feat, but it's also a chance for a major payout if wrongdoing can be proven. So, does the mention of Sony in these leaks reflect confusion or a deliberate attempt to inflate the scandal by roping in a well-known entertainment giant? This mismatch is a glaring sign that the leaked documents might be incomplete, misdirecting, or possibly fabricated to drum up more coverage. After all, Sony is a bigger household name than Wayfarer, so it creates a more dramatic headline. Yet the actual court proceedings aren't singing that tune. If you look at the real lawsuit, it revolves around alleged retaliatory actions and misconduct on set, with multiple production figures named. Each side accuses the other of misrepresenting events and suppressing evidence. Confusion abounds. The moment one side references a verified complaint, the other side counters it's a smear campaign orchestrated to bury them in scandal. This is where rumors tie Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' camp to a behind-the-scenes push. There's talk that tensions ran high during filming, that certain creative decisions caused friction, or that star power overshadowed co-producers. In some versions of the story, the allegations against Baldoni conveniently shift attention away from other, more damaging rumors about the production. In others, Baldoni's supporters paint him as a scapegoat targeted by cunning PR professionals who are shielding bigger names from accountability.
So what does this tell us? Well, first and foremost, that they still believe the public is stupid, that moms on the internet are stupid, that we don't understand these legal games and these PR games.
Even so, no firm conclusions can be drawn without seeing how the legal process plays out. Discovery, the period where both parties exchange evidence, could reveal bombshells or vindications for either side. It all depends on the authenticity of these so-called leaked documents and whether they align with the official court records. Where do Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds fit in? According to certain insiders, their PR strategy might be to divert negative attention, especially if they sense the media's eyes drifting to more controversial issues. By painting Baldoni as a villain, the public conversation might shift away from their own rumored conflicts, be they financial, creative, or personal. Then again, it's not uncommon in Hollywood for feuding camps to weaponize the press. Leaking unverified documents is a time-tested way to spark a frenzy and put someone on the defensive. Even if the story doesn't hold up, the target is often forced to respond or face a tidal wave of bad press. And in many cases, the original leaker doesn't care if the story is debunked later. By then, the seed of doubt has already been planted. The real tragedy might be that if any legitimate complaint does exist, it could be drowned out by all the manipulative noise. Real victims can lose credibility when overshadowed by sensational but unverifiable claims.
Yeah, something stinks to the high heaven here, and I think we're going to see more tomorrow, obviously, when she is due to file her amendment.
And fans, left in the dark, can't tell if they're being shown genuine evidence or manipulated by top-tier spin doctors. Recent documents filed in court show both camps ramping up their defenses. Some want extensive call and text logs to prove there's been a coordinated smear campaign. Others argue the demand is too broad and infringes on personal privacy. The court must decide how much digital digging is fair in this era of relentless rumor mongering. Fans have been scouring legal dockets, dissecting every statement and cross-referencing the times each side posted on social media. Are we witnessing an elaborate attempt to bury uncomfortable facts, or a group of high-level celebrities bending the narrative to suit their agenda? Depending on whom you believe, it's either a legitimate quest for justice or a cunning strategy to damage reputations and maintain power. What's certain is that tensions are reaching fever pitch. Each new motion is more combative than the last, with lawyers drawing lines in the sand over who's telling the real story. At the heart of the dispute is whether any actual misconduct transpired, or if we're all just watching a circus of orchestrated leaks, half-truths, and fear of legal blowback. So, are these leaked HR complaints an unvarnished look into real on-set transgressions, or a smokescreen crafted to shift blame and manipulate public perception? The confusion stems from key questions. Why are the documents riddled with heavy redactions? Why name Sony in the leaked papers, but not in official lawsuits? And how did we go from major outlets rejecting the story to smaller creators breathlessly sharing it online? In Hollywood, nothing draws more attention than controversy, especially if it involves A-list celebrities and behind-the-scenes drama. When a story suddenly pivots to lesser-known bloggers and social media feeds, it can be a red flag that a more seasoned journalist smelled trouble. Yet that strategy can still work. Once the internet seizes on a scandal, speculation spreads like wildfire, and reputations can be tarnished long before the truth emerges. As the lawsuit drags on, keep an eye out for new filings. Each update could either confirm or destroy the narrative being spun. If the evidence points to real victims being ignored, it will ignite a far bigger scandal. If, however, these complaints turn out to be unsubstantiated claims crafted for shock value, it will serve as a reminder of how easily the public can be manipulated by strategic leaks. Until then, remember that every scandalous headline might be more theater than reality. Hollywood thrives on spectacle, and sometimes that spectacle is orchestrated by the very people who claim to be its victims. Time will tell if Justin Baldoni stands vindicated or if Lively and Reynolds were right to sound the alarm. Assuming, of course, they are even behind these leaks at all. Either way, the entire saga lays bare how quickly unverified stories can blow up when carefully placed in the right hands. Perhaps the real takeaway is this: in the land of films and fast-breaking internet gossip, the boundary between truth and fiction is often razor thin, and everyone has a motive to keep it that way.